Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another midweek reading of Triple Chalice Tarot. I'm your host, Rowan Nyx, here to give you the lowdown on this week. Just as a heads up, we're having a very special planetary occurrence right now where Jupiter, Mars, the Earth, Venus, and Mercury are all in alignment. This happens, I think, every 35 years or so from what I was reading online, and we just came out of Mercury in retrograde, so this is a great time to be aligning your chakras, to aligning your life and your destiny. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out these cards. I've already shuffled them, and then we'll get into this week's reading. All right, and you can definitely see the effect of the planets in the cards this week as there are a lot of major arcana cards. Now, the major arcana, just as a reminder, deals with the major life influences that we may go through. This is birth, death, love, resurrection, marriage, relationships, the whole nine yards. This rules all of that. So you can definitely see the effect of it here. The present significator is the Sun card, and the Sun card is all about enlightenment, illumination, really finding your joy and your bliss and your path in your life. In the current deck that I'm using, the Shadowscape Tarot, it's depicted as a man on a bird, and he's flying up and looking into the sun, and he's winged like an angel. So this is all about lifting yourself, elevating your spirits, and really going for the gold and the glory in life that makes everything worth living. He's currently crossed by the Fool card, another major arcana card. And the Fool deals with the necessary risk that everyone needs to take. In the Shadowscape Tarot, it's a woman on a precipice about to leap off into the unknown. And that's all what the Fool encompasses. A lot of the time in life, we may have a goal or an ambition or a dream, but we may be afraid to even get close to it. We may be afraid of failure or of it not being exactly what we had thought it was when we first spotted it. It might be a fear of disappointment or a fear of rejection, etc. But regardless of all of that, the Fool is saying that you need to take a risk. The Fool is saying that don't ever be afraid to fall because you might fly. You might end up in a better situation than you ever thought of. This relates, I always call this the Alice in Wonderland card because this is the beginning of the whole tarot. So this is also like Alice's Adventures in Wonderland where it starts everything when she falls through the rabbit hole. And she doesn't know what the heck is going on. She's falling. There's a clock elevating around her. She doesn't know what's going on around her, but she knows that she's about to experience something wonderful. So definitely don't be afraid to experience that for yourself. Now, the root card of this is the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands can be a negative card, but in this case, I'm reading it as a positive card as it's in the subconscious. This is the manifestation of all of your desires, which can feel like a burden to some, but I think the Shadowscape Tarot encompasses it beautifully as a tree that has a city on top, and the tree is a woman. So in a lot of ways, this is talking about the burdens of your dreams, and I guess the questionnaire, whomever is dealing with these issues at home, is definitely somebody that feels that their dreams are right but is afraid of what it may mean for their life, of the change that it could inflict on their life, and rightfully so. But this is definitely a risk worth taking. This is where you're meant to be, and you can handle it. The Ten of Wands is saying that you can handle it. You can take the burden onto yourself. You can experience the glory of life and not be afraid of it. So definitely don't be afraid of that risk. Now, the Four of Wands is the Crown card, which is the overwhelming influence. It's the aura of the general situation. It's the area of effect, so to speak. And in the Shadowscape Tarot, it's these chimera-type creatures with a unicorn horn, and they're all as a herd going together. And this is saying that maybe you're a part of a group. Maybe your dreams have to do with a group venture, or you're in it with this business venture with several other people. Maybe you're starting a family, for instance. But this is talking about not being alone. This is talking about gathering your resources and establishing your foundation together to build that better dream, to build that better life. When the Four of Wands, when any of the fours come up really from any of the suits, it's really talking about getting the groundwork done. It's really talking about laying the foundation for future goals. So definitely don't be afraid to call in your friends to help lay that foundation because they may benefit from the success also. You know, the Wands are a very dynamic suit. We were just discussing it right now, as a matter of fact, on the Saturday shows. it's a very dynamic suit. It's about your passions, your desires, your dreams, and definitely incorporating them with other people. So don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Now, the past is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles can be a new business venture. It can be a new job. It can even be a new idea that may be bringing in money, or some kind of affluence, some kind of physical material wealth, because the pentacles always represent wealth of all kinds. In my Shadowscape Tarot, it's depicted with a pentacle on the bottom and then several chameleons up in the trees above it. So this is also about adapting to certain situations. In the past, I feel like maybe you've had to bide your time or watch your tongue, or maybe go about things a certain way because you have to deal with other people. And this is also a new card. This is a sort of an ingenue position, being the ace is at the beginning of everything. So maybe you just started in a certain company and you're moving your way up, etc., and you needed to blend in to be aware of your surroundings. But the time for that, the cards are saying, is now past. Now is the time to go for it. Now is the time to really seek your goals and your dreams and your desires, etc. In the future tense, we have the King of Swords. Now, nobody likes getting swords in any deck. I've said this I don't know how many times. I personally hate getting them. But the King of Swords is the best sword to get, in my opinion, because he rules all of the other cards. And this is saying that you're going to be the ruler of the given venture or goal that you're trying to establish for yourself. This card is saying that don't be afraid to wield the sword because it will come to you. Like in the myth of Excalibur and Arthur, etc., the sword will come to you, the power will come to you, so don't be afraid to wield it when necessary, to harm or to heal, depending on the situation and the logic of it. I don't get that this is going to be a bad situation, and all of the other cards are positive, so definitely this is just merely saying that the power will be yours. Stop worrying about it, to just take the risk already, because everything is going to work out for the best. Now, the future significator card is the King of Pentacles. We have another king. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that this card is about a male person listening or someone with a lot of masculine energy, because we have a lot of the masculine things in it. We have the Sun card and the two kings, and the Ten of Wands can be kind of a masculine card, even though it's depicted as feminine in my deck. The King of Wands in this deck as well is depicted as a man growing out of a tree with a pentacle on his head and the forest rising up around him. So just like the King of Swords rules the swords, the King of Pentacles rules the pentacles, and in this particular deck, he rules the forest. So this is all about growth and material wealth and things really going your way. Things that maybe you didn't even consider before are growing up around you and manifesting in the way that you would desire. The forest is a magical place that is full of life, full of possibility, and full of growth. So definitely don't be afraid to grow and to change as the necessary time comes. Now, the view of others is the Three of Pentacles, which says that you're definitely somebody that other people look up to, that other people admire and respect, because you're a very hard worker. The Three of Pentacles is putting in the work necessary to achieve your goals. So I don't know if this is maybe about a promotion at work or something, but this is definitely receiving the accolades that you deserve and desire because of the hard work that you invariably put in whatever it is you decide to do. Other people see that, other people will be attracted to that because it shows trustworthiness and it shows a sense of completion and diplomacy as well. So the card immediately following that is the hopes and fears position. This is the Three of Cups. So I'm definitely getting an earthy sense from the current deck and the current spread that's coming up. And the Three of Cups being in the fears position, I think is saying a fear of being vulnerable to other people, a fear of opening up, a fear of conference, a fear of maybe somebody betraying you, etc. I can see that in the past, again, going back to the Ace of Pentacles, where we're talking about this person having to adapt, this person having to watch and be sort of wary. I don't know if maybe you've been hurt in your past. I don't know if maybe you've been in a bad work situation, whether people have taken advantage of you, etc. But again, we're going back to the cross card of the Fool. Don't be afraid to take risks. You're going to shine whatever you do, so don't be afraid of that shine. Also, not everybody is out to hurt you. The Three of Cups is also relying you in a way that definitely people will be empathetic towards you. People will open their hearts to you as long as you remain honest and true with them. And again, going back to the Three of Pentacles, you're definitely somebody that's trustworthy, that's a hard worker, etc., and you're going to attract the right people to you from that fact alone. Just make sure that when people show you who they are, you believe them. That's an old saying. It basically just means that if somebody's being shady with you, or if someone's trying to take credit for your work, or is saying something in a very joking manner, but it's sort of vicious, to believe them and don't let them anywhere near your life. When you have people like that come to you, it's important to keep them out of your garden, so to speak, out of your forest, where you don't want them damaging anything, where you don't want them breaking down your trees, getting rid of your crops and all the hard work that you've put in. You know, there are crows everywhere, there are snakes everywhere. It's very important that you keep in mind that some people are not always good in that way. You will find good people, but there will also be bad people as well. In any venture, that's true. All right, and the last card is the Strength card. And the Strength card has several different meanings in the major arcana. In my deck, I'll just depict the card to you right off the bat. It's a woman who's caressing a lion, and there's smoke coming up from under them, and it looks like the sun is rising behind them. This is a card about taming your fears. This is a card about bringing what is dark into light, as the woman and the lion are both facing the light, and she's sort of caressing the lion and taming the lion. It's all about bringing your inner demons and your inner monsters into light and showing them that not everything is darkness, not everything is gloom and doom. This is a very positive card to get. It's a card that involves really a lot of soul searching. It involves a lot of the dark night of the soul, especially. We all have our crosses to bear. We all have our demons that we have to fight, etc. But don't be afraid to do that. This card is really about making sure that your inner alignment is in the right place. As the planets are aligning right now, it is a fantastic time to do that, to do a lot of path working, soul exercises, and really get to the bottom of who you are, what you want in life, and where you want to go. The realms of possibility are endless right now. And the Strength card is very much depicting that. It's saying to be strong, because not everything will be the way that it is. All right, that was the midweek reading. Thank you all so much for listening in. Please join us again this Saturday, where we continue our exploration into the pseudoscience. Again, thank you so much for listening in, and have a great night.